Well, we have to remember also these people who plan these attacks against certain environments and countries is very concrete. It's very planned out, and we hope that we hope that when Janet Napolitano and Homeland Security, when they are changing these rules because of controversy on the internet about children being pat down, being stripped, we hope that they are paying attention that if we're going to prevent from little kids from taking off their shoes, we hope that the intelligence in Washington is paying attention, and we hope and we trust that we are looking more. That we are looking and we are paying attention at, are these terrorists going to try to put more now explosive devices in young kids' shoes, use young kids who are being brainwashed in these radical Islamic countries, who are absorbing all the information that we've seen in Islamic terrorism the past 25, 30 years. And again, it's all about trust. And like I said on my show last night, it's really hard to trust people these days. If it's a family member, if it's a friend, or if it's the people that you vote for in government, it's very hard. And I don't know what to do about it.
Well, here's what I believe the terrorists try to strike the most. Modes of transportation, the educational system, any religious identity group like a church or a meeting. There's two more other ones.
The economy.
The economy, yeah, like anything that would stop the economy. Like, remember, a couple of people tried to blow up Times Square a couple of times.
Yeah, we saw the Times Square bomber back in April, right, 2011, and there was a retired Vietnam veteran, a retired Vietnam veteran who detected that there was something smoking in the car, and they got the bomb squad over, and it almost blew it up. We've seen Osama bin Laden and al-Shah Zahari, who is Osama bin Laden's suppressor, who is right now running Al-Qaeda, the radical Islamic terrorist group. When they attacked September 11th, one of their goals was to kill the American economy, and that's what they did. And right now we're still struggling from that attack.
Wait. So you think that 9/11 has attributed to our economy going this bad?
I think so.
I believe that it wasn't as bad as it was until the media got out of control and scared everyone. And then that way, economies everywhere started to crumble in a mutual economic collapse.
Well, when the World Trade Center was attacked on that day, we saw that money disappeared. We saw that more money went to one thing and not the other. We saw, like you said, that the media went into all proportion on this. And Americans weren't thinking correctly. We weren't thinking about budgeting. We weren't thinking about what President W. Bush was doing. We put all of our trust into this president, and he made a lot of mistakes. And look what happened. Look where we stand now. And we hope that we don't get another attack again that will put another president into all this power. We gave a lot of power to President W. Bush. We gave President W. Bush the right to use our army in any way after those attacks. We gave President W. Bush all these rights to what laws do you want to make, if it's the Patriot Act, or how much money do you want to spend on one thing than the other. And look what happened. Look when we saw one person making all the decisions. I'm not saying I'm a Democratic. I'm just stating that we all have other ideas and other different parties contributing how we could have got out after that tragedy. That's a problem. And did these terrorists knew what we were going to do in the aftermath? I don't know. Maybe some did. Maybe some didn't. I'm just saying that the economy was a contribution with September 11, 2001. Not saying when it comes to government spending or saying where we stand today. I mean, where we stand today is from the real estate bubble and from the bailouts. That's why we've seen the recession come as the worst recession we've seen since the Great Depression. So, but leading up to that, there are so many economic thinkers, so many analysis people in Washington who knew after we saw that attack that this country was going to change and the economy was not going to keep up with that change.
So the solutions to this economy, well, there are people talking about a new currency. Well, the only way to introduce a new currency is eradicating our currency.
Yeah, because we are the top currency in the world. I think everyone uses our currency. Am I correct?
Yeah. So why are we devaluing our currency this way?
I don't know. I guess right now we see the European Union. We see European countries like Greece and Italy who are right now struggling. We see this country who is just months away from going into a recession. And a lot of these investors, a lot of these economic analysts feel that maybe it's time to change our currency. Or, in another side of the situation, some of these rich people want our currency to change. To benefit who? To benefit these world leaders, to benefit these greedy rich, to benefit these corporations, and kill the middle class, and kill the poverty, and kill the ones that stimulate this country every day, the ones that give the money to the rich, so the rich can then stimulate our money all they want. They just want more power. That's two theories I can think of why they would want the currency to change. To have this, New World Order. Have you ever heard of that? The NWO, New World Order, of making a world economy, making one currency, one set rate for every country.
Have you heard any of the quotes the past presidents have been saying?
Oh, yeah, I heard.
They've been quoting this numerous times.
They have been. Now again, is this a subliminal message in speeches? Or are they trying to give clues? Are they trying to taunt the American people and other people around the world? I don't know.
And this New World Order, would it be a utopian society or a dystopian society? I feel we are going to lose a majority of the rights we have now.
We will.
Yeah. For instance, right now we lost our right to privacy in order for protection. Sooner or later, we're going to lose our right to speech. That is the one right American has held up most above everything aside from guns. Which, by the way, guns are going again soon. They're putting in all these restrictions for people who want to get guns. You can't have like a machine gun anymore. You have to have like a pistol. And they're really trying to get away with all those gun clubs. Where are the gun clubs?
I'm not familiar with gun clubs.
There are all these organizations that have rifles and guns. And they go hunting occasionally. The right to bear arms or something.
Right now, like I said...
And they're really upset about this. Because it's getting really difficult to get guns.
I said this a numerous amount of times in this show. Again, if we use technology correctly, if we present this new technology correctly, there is no reason why we can have a separation from technology and our American rights. The problem is the people, and the people could be the CEOs of corporations, world leaders, politicians in our government. They're using this technology against us. And that's why if we go into a dystopia government, that would be the reason why. I'm not saying that robots are going to come against us. I'm saying that it's these people that are going to create technology for these things to come against us, not walking to us and punching us in the face. I'm saying, well, here's the internet, and this is what you're going to do on the internet. Or you have TV, instead of pictures on every wall, like Adolf Hitler back in World War II, or Saddam Hussein during his regime in Iraq, you're going to have TV screens everywhere of this certain leader talking to you, spying on you. And we've seen a lot of movies the past several years. We've seen a lot of radio shows, a lot of TV shows playing these things.
That's the basic global media.
Giving clue that this what could happen. And they're not trying to say and we're not trying to say, Paul, that this is going to happen. They're trying to warn us, saying you need to stop this. Or you need to tell them we want a separation, not just between religion and government. A separation between how technology is being used and how our rights are being given out. That's what we need to see. There's no reason why technology shouldn't be in society. Technology is a wonderful thing to have, just to a certain extent. We can't be abusing it.
Here's a certain thing that I find interesting. We have basically set up that all humans have all these basic rights. But even America has come to the point where it's denied some rights in order for protection. Countries all over the world have to deny rights in order for them to sustain themselves. And it's come to the point where, well, who are we going to listen to more, the government or our basic human rights? In times of war, our rights do have to get weighed at certain points, because are you going to save like 26 children, or are you going to save a horde of old people? And that comes to the thing with healthcare. Are we going to abandon the old generation, or are we going to try and help them? Because they're going into some procedures with this new healthcare. I mean, like, we've all seen the plan. We're all in fear. Like, the one thing they always say, keep socialists out of healthcare. I mean, we all know Obama's kind of socialist, and he
does believe in those socialist views. We can't deny that.
He has taken over healthcare.
Oh, he has. He's taken over healthcare already. He has taken over Wall Street. He is trying to take over the way gas and energy is developed and used. We've been seeing a lot of it. And two things I want to say, by the way. First, about what you said about, what should we be looking at? Our own rights or government laws? And the government doesn't want you to think that. Meaning they don't want you to choose your rights. Because guess what that starts? It's such a revolution. It's such a revolt. Us saying we believe in our rights, we don't want you to take away our rights, we don't want these laws that corporations have lobbied for to benefit them and not us. And what happens? There's a huge debate. There's a huge revolt. Mayor Bloomberg, on his morning radio show on WOR 710, stated that this country may look like a Syria or look like a Britain soon. Us going against our government if Congress and politicians doesn't just stop that fighting, but doesn't stop these hidden transactions, these hidden messages, not informing people when something is introduced. That's a problem. Number two, about healthcare. When JFK introduced Social Security in the 1930s during the Great Depression, we saw Medicare and Medicaid being introduced by Lyndon B. Johnson in the 1960s. There was people back then who stated this. The same way we're seeing it now, long-term effects. Things are wonderful when it first comes out, could go for the first few years. What we don't realize is how will it affect us in the long run. That's what we have to look at. President Obama, Obamacare, what critics call it, in the legislation named the Affordable Care Act, Patient Protection Act, we have to see, will this work 20, 30 years from now? Will this help our children, hurt our children? Will it help senior citizens or not? Will it help us, who are eventually going to be senior citizens or be the older generation? The problem is people always criticize me that I'm young, I shouldn't be worrying about this. I should definitely be worrying about this. It is going to affect me one day. It is going to affect my kids someday. It's going to affect the people around me someday, my parents someday. This is a big issue. It needs to be addressed short-term and long-term. I see President Obama, when it comes to the debt ceiling debate, he has been looking at 10 years, 15 years, and I am happy with that. Now that we got that part, long-term, short-term effect, now we have to look into detail. And we haven't been seeing detail because the government doesn't want to show us detail, or when they do show us detail, it would be too late to change that detail of a certain legislation or a certain proposal.
Just like to say this about Obama, even though he does seem socialist, he has made it clear that he'd rather tax the rich than cut anything in Medicare, because that's what he's been talking about in Congress with this new bill. The rich people have to be taxed like $3 trillion. By the way, how much did he spend on borrowing for the stimulus and all the other projects he had?
Right now, from the stimulus, did he do like what 800 billion?
I heard he borrowed $1 trillion for one thing, then I heard another $1 trillion, and I'm just assuming that...
I agree. No, keep going. You're right. That's the problem. Right now, we see the stimulus plan in 2009. He borrowed money from that. We saw Bush borrow money too during his stimulus bill plan. Then we've seen during the American Job Act, his brand new job proposal to stimulate jobs back in the economy. He wants to borrow $1.5 trillion from that. Then suddenly, there's this brand new proposal. This is new proposal about taxing the rich, and now he wants to borrow. Now he wants money from that, and it's just all this money is coming around the place, and no one knows what are we actually borrowing here.